Good morning, Team FYN Sports fans, and welcome to this week's episode of Instant Replay on this kind of dreary October day, to be honest. But I can't complain too much because I'm thankful just to have some cooler temperatures that finally make it feel like it's fall and football season, which we know at this point. I was thinking about this last night, and we are going into week 8 of high school football, which is incredible and hard to believe for me that we're already this far along into the season. But we have a lot of updates to share with you this morning from Friday night and then from the past week as a whole as well. At this point, softball and volleyball are getting ready to go into playoffs, so we have some news and updates to share with you as well along those lines. And then also, with it being week 8 of high school football, that means we are officially into region play. So all of the games that we're going to be going through this morning are actually region games, which is an exciting time because this is where the rubber truly meets the road for these football teams as they step up out of their non-region play and into their region play where it truly counts in the rankings and going into state playoffs. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start that up because I know how I can get excited, and just like that, the time goes by. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with the White County Warriors, who unfortunately fell in the game to Flowery Branch by a final score of 45-20. Now, this is a tough White County team, but it is an even tougher Flowery Branch team. This is a difficult region for the Warriors. They are in Region 7 with Class 4A, and we're going to talk about those region standings in just a minute, and you'll see what I mean when we talk about who all is included in the region. But this is a tough Flowery Branch team that the week before had defeated the Gainesville Red Elephants, which are known for being a pretty well football team. But unfortunately, the Warriors, who we cover here at Team FYN Sports, fell in this game. The Falcon rushing game was hard to stop, according to our sideline reporter Carson Finley, and they had a 14-0 lead by the end of the first quarter over the Warriors. The greatest struggle for the Warriors, however, were unwelcome penalties throughout the first half, so that was a struggle that they had to fight to overcome. Finally, the Warriors got some offense going just before the half with a touchdown pass from quarterback Jabin Haynes to Will Sampson. They went into the half trailing the Falcons 24-6. Early into the second half, the Warriors went on a long drive that would unfortunately end with an interception. The Falcons led 31-6 at the end of the third. Now, the Warriors' offense again picked up steam in the fourth quarter when Haynes scored an 18-yard rushing touchdown. Now, I just go over the game highlights from this game and from each of our games, but I do want to say that our sideline reporter Carson Finley does an awesome job of describing the game. And he had talked about how a little bit with some interceptions and the penalties, it was kind of a slow time for the Warriors, and then it began to pick up steam when they had this 18-yard rushing touchdown by quarterback Jabin Haynes. On the following offensive drive, Zion McMullen flew 70 yards total for the Warriors' final touchdown of the game. The Falcons scored once more for the final score of 45-20, like we mentioned earlier. So, unfortunate game here for the Warriors. However, again, this is a tough Flowery Branch team that was going to be difficult to overcome, and the Warriors just couldn't quite get it together to get past the Falcons in this game. I mean, like I said, the offense is just great over there in Flowery Branch. So it was a difficult game for them. But looking ahead, the Warriors are 3-3 overall and 0-2 in the region. They are going to have a chance to recuperate and to come back together before this week with a bye week before hosting West Hall for homecoming, who is also in their region. Now, I also want to give a shout out to our player of the week for the Warriors, who is Will Sampson. He has battled injuries so far this season, but scored the first touchdown against Flowery Branch and made numerous key receptions for the Warriors as well. So congratulations to him for being nominated this week's Team FYN Sports Writers Player of the Week for the White County Warriors. Now, also, I mentioned towards the beginning of the segment that we're going to go through region standings, and we'll do this for each of our teams as well as we get into their region. But in Region 7, 4A, which White County is a part of, coming in at first is Denmark, followed by Blessed Trinity, Flowery Branch, Marist, then White County, West Hall, and Chestatee. So right now the Warriors are a little short of being within that state playoff ranking, but there's still a lot of region game left to be played, so hopefully they'll be able to pull ahead and get within one of those top 4 spots before we get into playoffs. Now, like I said, also, Carson Finley, our sideline reporter for the Warriors, does an awesome job giving them great coverage. So you definitely will want to go check out the full game highlight, which is on our website. It's fetchyournews.com. If you click on White County at the top and then go to Team FYN Sports, you'll be able to find all of his game recap articles as well as his Player of the Week articles. He does an awesome job, and we appreciate everything that he does for us. So definitely, whenever you get a chance, go and check out that game recap article that Carson put up for us following this game. And he'll be on the sideline for all of the White County games from this point on. Now that's going to wrap it up for the Warriors for this week. For football, we'll get into their softball and volleyball teams here in just a little while. And we're going to go ahead and head on over into Dawson County, where the Tigers came out on top against East Hall 52-34, so a high-scoring game for both of these teams. And I love the title of this article that our sideline reporter Noah Rubin did, which was that the Tigers were defending their home turf, which they definitely did with this game. East Hall wasn't going down without a fight. They were definitely well prepared for this high-powered Tigers offense and defense. They exploded on their first drive and scored less than 2 minutes into the game, so the Vikings struck first. East Hall also went with squib kick returns the entire game rather than risk a long return by the Tigers because they know what they're capable of. Instead of answering with a touchdown, the Tigers had to settle for a field goal during their first possession. The Vikings were obviously, like I said, ready for a fight in this region game. Just before the end of the first quarter, Isaiah Grindle scored from 8 yards out for the Tigers. Riley Herndon also stepped up to snag an interception during East Hall's next drive, which was his 4th of the season up until this point. Unfortunately, the Tigers went 3 and out with that possession, and East Hall got within the Tigers' 10-yard on their next drive and scored again after a face mask call on Dawson County. After a failed 2-point conversion, the Vikings were ahead 12-10. Dakota Sonachin caught a 53-yard pass to score again for the Tigers during the next drive, so they answered that East Hall score. Braden Hubbard forced a turnover for the Tigers with an interception, and this time the Tigers scored after the turnover with a 2-yard touchdown by Sean Thomas. Sonachin scored again just before the half, and another highlight was Bonesteel's 67-yard field goal attempt. Although it fell short, like Noah said in his article, this is definitely a display of how confident the Tigers coaching staff is with Bonesteel's kicks. Dawson County led 31-12 at the half. During the third quarter, Herndon got his 5th pick of the season, which turned into an 80-yard pick 6. And then the Vikings scored again during a 61-yard touchdown pass. So the Vikings were definitely relying a lot on their passing abilities in this game. During the kick return, the Tigers' Jaden Gibson returned the squib for another touchdown. DJ Mitchell recovered a fumble for the Tigers during the Vikings' next possession. East Hall scored again during their next drive with a 2-yard carry. And then each team would score once more before the end of the game. Grindle with an 11-yard carry and East Hall with a 23-yard touchdown pass and 2-point conversion to make that final score 52-34. So like I said, the Vikings definitely weren't going down without a fight. I believe Noah mentioned towards the beginning of his article that last year the Tigers went to East Hall and defeated them by 64-0, I believe was the final score if I'm remembering correctly. So the Vikings were undoubtedly looking to make a statement here when they came to the Tigers' home territory, in which I believe that they did. Well, like I said, sounds like they were relying mainly on their passing game, while the Tigers were relying on their passing and running game, and the Vikings, again, weren't going down without a fight. So looking ahead, the Tigers are 5-1 overall and 2-0 in the region. They will host GAC Greater Atlanta Christian on Friday, and we will talk about their region standings when we get to the Fannin Rebels, who face off against the Cherokee Bluff Bears on Friday night. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves there, but Fannin, Lumpkin County, and Dawson County that we cover here at Team FYN Sports are all within the same region, which is Region 7 within the 3A classification. So when we get down to the Rebels recap, we will go through those region standings. The player of the week for the Dawson County Tigers was Dakota Sonachin with 2 long touchdown plays and multiple first down runs and receptions. So he definitely stood out in this game against the Vikings. So congratulations to him for receiving this nomination from our sideline reporter Noah Rubin, who also does an awesome job for us covering the Dawson County Tigers football team. So whenever you get a chance, if you're a big Tigers fan, go online to our website, fetchyournews.com, click on Dawson County at the top of the screen where you'll see all of the counties that we cover listed there at the top. Then you can click on Team FYN Sports and you can see all of his game recaps highlights articles and Player of the Week articles as well there. Now, Noah also typically does a post-game interview with the Tigers head coach, Sid Maxwell. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get one of those in this game, but he typically does do that. So also follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at TeamFYNSports for those video recaps and interviews and all sorts of other multimedia stuff that we do there at TeamFYNSports, where we're always highlighting and promoting young athletes in a positive way. So again, congratulations to the Tigers on their victory against the East Hall Vikings at home. And we're going to move on over into Lumpkin County, although there isn't a lot to talk about here with them because they had a bye week this past week. They are coming off of previous to that, they fell against the Dawson County Tigers that we just talked about by a final score of 45-0. But they will be playing at home against Cherokee Bluff for the second region game on Friday night. So they've had a week to prepare to get ready for the second region game. So I'm excited, looking forward to getting back out there on the sideline at Cottrell Field, the burial grounds, to see what the Indians have been working on for the second region game against the Cherokee Bluff Bears. Now, also, we had another team that had a bye week this week, and that was the Gilmer Bobcats. They will be traveling to Southeast Whitfield County for their second region game on Friday night. This previous week, they fell against their big rivals, the Pickens Dragons, but they will be looking for that second region win when they travel to Southeast Whitfield County this Friday night. And our sideline reporter, Richie Stone, will be there to provide us with game recaps, highlights, coaches' interviews, pictures, the whole 9 yards. There's my football reference for the day. Now, with that being said, since they're coming off of a bye week, that means there will be no Gilmer Turf Talk tonight. We do not do Gilmer Turf Talk on nights where there's been a bye week the following week, so don't be looking for that tonight. But we will be back with that next Monday, same time, 7 p.m., live on Team FYN Sports Facebook page, broadcasting live from Circuit World of LJ. And we appreciate Circuit World always letting us broadcast live from there. They're one of our big sponsors, so we'll give them a shout out as well. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the show, and when we come back, we'll be continuing with our high school football recap. We'll be kicking it off with Pickens County and then be getting on into some of our other counties as well that played this week. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hi everyone, Dave Garner here. You might know me as a regular contributor to Team FYN Sports and the Instant Replay, but did you know I'm also your local Woodman Life representative? My job is to make sure that families are protected through needs-based life insurance and retirement. I want to make sure that you leave your loved ones with memories, not expenses. Call me today to find out how I can help you to not outlive your money and that your money outlives you. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Instant Replay. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter. Glad to be here talking about high school sports. We've been talking about high school football and going over the game recaps from these games last Friday night. Now, like I said during the previous segment, we are officially into region play with all of our high school football teams that we cover here at TeamFYNSports. While meanwhile, over in softball and volleyball, they're going on into playoffs and getting ready for the state playoffs. So we will be going over their recaps as well here in just a little bit. But we're going to continue with football right now, where we're over in Pickens, where the Pickens Dragons won against Southeast Whitfield County in their second region game of the season. The Dragons scored first with a field goal by Juan Sanchez, and then the Raiders scored shortly after with a 32-yard touchdown pass. Now, quarterback C.J. Stryker for the Dragons definitely stepped up tonight. He played an impressive game for the Dragons with 6 total touchdowns, 3 rushing for a combined 88 yards, and 3 passing for at least 31 yards. The passes included one to Michael Hand just before halftime, an 11-yard pass to Alex Snellgrove, and a 20-yard pass to Dylan Arp to finish the third quarter. Southeast Whitfield scored coming out of the half with another touchdown pass. They would score once more to finish the game with a 37-yard run, but it wasn't quite enough to get past our Pickens Dragons, and the final score was 45-21 with Pickens on top. Now, RJ Casey and BKP were on the sidelines for this game on Friday night, and after the game, BKP actually got an interview with head coach Jeff Nelson of the Pickens Dragons. So we're going to get Destiny to roll that video clip for us so we can watch that interview.
I'm here with Dragons head coach Jeff Nelson. Coach, second win in the region, Southeast Whitfield tonight, 45-21. Talk about this win.
Well, I thought the kids, we preached all week about playing 4 quarters of football. We're still making some mistakes, but we played a lot harder for 4 quarters. And that's what our goal was. I thought we accomplished that overall, and we've still got some things to work on, but I'm pleased with the effort.
Seemed like your defense come up big when they needed to. They had a lot of passion tonight. A lot of times I saw 11 hats on the ball, seen you working with them under the tent. Talk a little bit about the defense turning it up tonight.
Well, again, that's one of the things we talked about on defense is we've got to play 11 as one. That's what we say. 11 hats going to the ball. It should be one team getting there, not 11 individuals getting there. And I thought tonight everybody wanted to get in there, and that's what we saw. That's what we worked on. I thought the kids executed it fairly well.
On the offensive side of the ball, 45. Stryker 3 and 3 rushing and 3 passing, but it takes a whole team out there. Talk about this offense tonight and how they're clicking and moving right along.
Well, we're the most experienced on the offensive side of the ball with our seniors across the offensive line, our senior quarterback, and I thought they stepped up tonight. Really played each week. For the last 3 weeks, I felt like they've gotten better and better, and tonight they were clicking.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So you see that interview there with head coach Jeff Nelson of the Pickens Dragons. Now, he made some excellent points during that interview, but one that I also want to talk about really quick is he said that they needed to get out there and play all 4 quarters. And that's really a recurring theme here at TeamFYNSports and with all the teams that we cover here, because it's definitely within region play. And in region play, as I've said, this is where the rubber meets the road. So you've got to get out there and you've got to play all 4 quarters, because that's going to determine those who go to the state playoffs and those who don't. So definitely great game there for the Pickens Dragons, who are 4-2 overall and undefeated at 2-0 in the region. They will be on the road this Friday and play against Heritage at Heritage High School. Now, the player of the week that I want to mention before we go any further is C.J. Stryker, who definitely deserved this award from our sideline reporter, RJ Casey. Fun fact about Stryker in this game, he almost beat the school record for most touchdowns scored in one game, but fell one short of Jordan Shaw's 7 touchdowns scored in one game several years back. So congratulations to CJ for being nominated for this award. I believe this is his second time actually this season. It is definitely well-deserved based on the game recap and from what you've been hearing from the interview of BKP with head coach Jeff Nelson. This Pickens team is definitely one that is trying to come off of a season where they were 11-1 last season, undefeated, so there's definitely pressure there, but they're just clicking right along. So we definitely wish the best of luck to the Dragons as they continue their season. Now, speaking of the Dragons, we have one of our sports shows over there, which will be tomorrow night, Tuesday at 7 o'clock on FYNTV.com, which is where we broadcast this show. It's a little bit different than our others. We broadcast Pickens Power Half Hour Dragon Talk every Tuesday night, and unless it's a bye week, the week before, obviously. Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Dave Garner, my former co-host, will be hosting that show there with head coach Jeff Nelson, and then they usually have an assistant coach and 4 players from the Dragons football team. Dave does an awesome job, as he does with everything else. He does an awesome job with this Pickens show. So definitely tune into that, because it'll be 30 minutes of nonstop Dragons football talk. So definitely don't want to miss out on that. And before I forget, our sideline reporter, RJ Casey, who is our Pickens guru, is always there as well to ask a question for the show, and then also to talk about his sort of, from his standpoint, his ideas on the team so far up to this point in the season. And RJ definitely knows his stuff, so he'll be there as well. It's always a good time. I try to stop by when I can, and BKP is usually there, so definitely tune into that show tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on FYNTV.com. Now, region standings for Region 6 4A, which the Pickens Dragons are a part of. I'm going to give you some updates about that. Coming in at first is Northwest Whitfield, followed closely behind by the Pickens Dragons, then Ridgeland, Heritage, Lafayette, Gilmer, and then Southeast Whitfield County to round out that region. So the Dragons are definitely within playoff standings right now, and we hope that they continue to stay there or go up so that they can go on to playoffs again this year like they did last season. So again, best of luck to the Dragons. They played awesome in this game on Friday night on both sides of the ball, so we're definitely looking forward to seeing what they do for the remainder of the season. Now we're going to wrap it up with Pickens and head on over into Fannin. I was actually at this game on Friday night when the Fannin Rebels went down to Flowery Branch to take on the Cherokee Bluff Bears. Now you may have gotten a chance to see my pregame highlight of this game before the kickoff started, and I was talking about how the Rebels were starting their region play. They just got started with it on Friday night. This was their opening region game. The Bears were coming off of a loss to the North Hall Trojans and were looking for a win on their home turf. But the Rebels came out on top in this game. Now, Cherokee Bluff is one of those teams, this is only their second year as a high school, and last season came out of the gate and really played well considering it was their first season ever. And definitely this season they've been looking to continue that trend as well. But the Rebels came out on top during this game, although they got off to a rocky start with a fumble during their first possession. There were a couple of fumbles throughout the game, so that was something that we'll look at in just a minute when we watch that interview with head coach Chad Cheatham that I got after the game. This was a display of defense for both teams, though, as they held the other through the first quarter, and there was no score throughout the entire first quarter. Then Jacob Tuggle for the Rebels recovered a fumble to take over at the 18-yard line, and the Rebels drove down from there, and Traylon Owensby ran it in from the 1-yard line to put the Rebels on the board first, 7-0. The Rebels' defense kicked in again as Jackson Weeks deflected a Cherokee Bluff pass, and then the big play of the game, Jacob Tuggle set up a great play by putting extreme pressure on the quarterback for the Cherokee Bluff Bears. Then Jalen Ingram stepped in front and snagged a pick and ran it in for a 75-yard Rebel touchdown. Definitely an exciting moment there at Cherokee Bluff as the Rebels scored again with that Jalen Ingram pick six. Jackson Weeks also got an interception for the Rebels in the third quarter, although it did not result in a touchdown. It did result in a touchdown. Will Mosley ran the ball in for the third and final Rebel touchdown in the fourth quarter to put them ahead 21-7 there at Cherokee Bluff. So this was a great game for the Rebels, a great start to their region play there for them as they are now 1-0 in the region. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at that interview, post-game interview that I got with head coach Chad Cheatham after the game.
Fine sports fans, this is Lauren Hunter with head coach Chad Cheatham of the Fannin Rebels. Coach Cheatham, you just won over the Cherokee Bluff Bears 21-7. You advanced to 4-1 over the season and 1-0 in the region. How are you feeling right now, Coach?
You know, I'm not real pleased with our offense played. I'm really pleased with our defense played. We turned the ball over 4 times. You can't do that against good football teams, and it showed tonight. We had a touchdown on the first play. We missed it, turned it over. We got to get better on offense. They're loading the box up on us. We got to change. We got to come up with an answer. We'll go back to work on Monday. It's a win. A win's a win. We love it. We like it. And but we got to do it next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Hunter.
Appreciate
I love doing interviews with Coach Cheatham. He's awesome. But he did make an excellent point there as well. I mean, the Rebels had 4 turnovers throughout the game. You know, even though it's a win, one thing that I'm learning about football, definitely in this position, is that you can win, but there's still things that you want to go back and work on. And as Coach Cheatham said, they have 4 turnovers within this game, and they can't do that if they hope to continue to be at the top of the region throughout the rest of the region play. And we'll get into standings here in just a second. Overall, like he said, the Rebels got this win, but there's still things that they want to work on before they go into their next game, which is going to be at East Hall this Friday night. And the Rebels are 4-1 overall in the season, and as I said earlier, 1-0 in the region. So they've gotten that first region win. That's definitely a positive, and the one highlight that we want to take away from this game recap is that they got that first region win. They're coming out of the gate with a win, but there are still some things, like he said, to work on. Defense is pretty solid, but a couple of things there on offense that they want to take care of before this Friday night. Now, the player of the week for the Rebels that our sideline reporter Reagan Young selected was Jalen Ingram. Also, another well-deserved award here. He had the interception for a 75-yard touchdown run and took care of kick returns. It was his first night doing the kickoff returns, and he did an awesome job with that. So congratulations to Jalen for receiving this award from our sideline reporter Reagan Young there. Now, region standings for this region, which we have Dawson County, Lumpkin County, and Fannin County all a part of, that we cover here at Team FYN Sports. Coming in at the top is Fannin County, followed by Greater Atlanta Christian, Dawson County, North Hall, Lumpkin County, Cherokee Bluff, and then East Hall to round out the region there. So the Rebels are on top. Dawson County is within playoff standings, and then Lumpkin County will be looking to try to move ahead as they get into the rest of region play to get within playoff standings there as well. So good luck to all of these teams. Congratulations to the Rebels before we go any further and wrap up with them. And speaking of wrap up, we have Rebel wrap up this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Team FYN Sports Facebook page. I will be filling in for BKP and hosting that again this week. I'm looking forward to that. Definitely love being there with the guys. We will be talking about this game and then also looking ahead to the region game against the East Hall Vikings on Friday night. What the Rebels have been working on and what they can plan to continue to work on before they go into the rest of region competition. So with that being said, that's going to finish up our Rebel recap for the week. Before we go to our next break, I meant to do this when we came back and I forgot to do it. So Destiny, if you don't mind going ahead and putting up our social media card really quick. We put so much information on social media, not only on the weekends when we put game score updates on our Twitter and on our Facebook as well, but we also do a lot of game highlights throughout the week with softball and volleyball. So definitely follow us at Team FYN Sports here on Facebook, where this show is currently live broadcasting. Then also on Twitter and Instagram at Team FYN Sports. We like to keep it simple and consistent here at Team FYN Sports, so our handle is all the same across the board. Then also on YouTube, you can subscribe to that, where we upload all of our video highlights, coaches' interviews, and whatnot there as well. It is FYN TV, Fetch Your News. Go and give that a follow as well. And then I always like to say, if you have a shout out for a favorite athlete or a favorite team, you can shoot us an email, teamfynsports@fetchyournews.com. So definitely go and take care of all that whenever you get a chance after the show or during this break that we're about to take. We have so much great stuff that goes up there. Our sideline reporters do an awesome job, and we try to keep you in the loop with all things Team FYN Sports, where we're always highlighting and promoting young athletes in a positive way. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our second break. When we come back, we'll be finishing it up with our Union County Panthers game recap. Then also mention Murphy football, Andrews football over in Western North Carolina in the Smoky Mountain Conference. And then we'll go into our updates for softball and volleyball. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with this week's episode of Instant Replay. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. and we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hi everyone, Dave Garner here. You might know me as a regular contributor to Team FYN Sports and the Instant Replay, but did you know I'm also your local Woodman Life representative? My job is to make sure that families are protected through needs-based life insurance and retirement. I want to make sure that you leave your loved ones with memories, not expenses. Call me today to find out how I can help you to not outlive your money and that your money outlives you. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
All right, welcome back, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to this week's episode of Instant Replay, or welcome back if you've been watching the entire time. And thank you for tuning in with us this morning. I love my job where I get to come in every Monday morning and talk about football, softball, volleyball. Sports is life, in my opinion. So absolutely love doing this show, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in and watching me as I go through all of these game recaps. Hope you enjoy the show. And if you do, please feel free to leave us a comment here on Facebook below where this video is currently broadcasting live, or you can even shoot us an email there at teamfynsports@veterannews.com, where you're seeing that right there. You can also follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at TeamFYNSports, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is FYNTV at Veteran News, for coaches' interviews, game highlights, and all sorts of other great stuff. We will upload our shows that we broadcast live as well up there. This show will be uploaded there shortly after we get done broadcasting live, so definitely go and subscribe to that because we have all sorts of great things that go up there. It's an great time. Awesome time. Love doing this show. All right, let's get back to it with football recaps, where we are over in Union County, or Blairsville to be more specific. The Panthers took on region opponent Elbert County, and if you got a chance to tune into Panther Playback last week, you will know that we were talking about how this was really a big game for the Panthers. It was really stiff competition against the Blue Devils. But before giving too much away, really, if I didn't want to go through a full game recap, I could possibly just quote Coach Allison, who said in the article that our sideline reporter James Wolfe did. Allison said, quote, "I don't have enough words for how proud I am. Offense, defense, special teams, we won in all three phases tonight." So if that doesn't tell you anything, then, I really don't know what else to say. But again, congratulations to the Panthers because they came out on top 35-14 against the Elbert County Blue Devils. But to get into some little bit more detail with the game recap, it was a great comeback considering the Panthers, they did get off to a little bit of a rough start with 2 punts, a fumble, and an interception, but all great teams know how even when you do make mistakes, you've got to come back to the sideline, you've got to saddle up and just keep going, riding hard and continuing to play hard, and that's what they did. The interception from quarterback Pearson Allison, instead of putting them down, really seemed to revamp and refocus the Panthers. The defense went out and forced a punt from the Blue Devils. Then the offense capped off a drive with a 19-yard pass to Caden Rich to score. With the score, we're going to jump ahead a little bit here, but the score was tied at 14 in the fourth quarter. But there was a lot that happened in the fourth quarter. The Panthers defense really stepped up when Caston Hemphill scooped up a grounded ball by the Blue Devils quarterback and got a first down. This led into 3 straight running plays, including a 22-yard scamper from junior Jonah Daniel, which led into a 28-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Pearson Allison to senior Sawyer Drake to give the home team the lead 20-14. All this is going to happen in the fourth quarter, y'all. Just wait. From there, Pearson Allison, starting quarterback who was playing defensive back at this particular moment, recovered a fumble, then hit McCombs with a 35-yard touchdown pass to put Union up 28-14 with 7 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. On the Blue Devils' next offensive play, the Panthers' Clayton Lester stepped in front of the ball for an interception and the third Panther turnover of the night. Pearson Allison threw another touchdown pass shortly after for 24 yards to Sawyer Drake to secure the final score 35-14. Now, as I said, even though the Panthers got off to a little bit of a rough start, this is definitely a display of a great team who doesn't come back to the sideline and beat up themselves and fall apart. They get back out there, they continue to play hard, they refocus, and they make a comeback to win. And especially at home, it is a great way to defend your home turf. So congratulations again to the Panthers for getting their second region win. Now, I do want to say that we do have reports that senior Kyle Morlock, who's been playing awesome for the Panthers this year, is hurt. We're not certain exactly what that injury is, but we do wish him a quick recovery. He came out early during the game, so we wish him all the best in a quick recovery throughout the rest of the season. Now, with this win, the Panthers are still undefeated. They advanced to 6-0 overall in the season and 3-0 in the region, so they're undefeated in regular season as well as the region. Now, also, I was going to read our region standings for Region 8, Class 2A, which the Panthers are a part of. Coming in at first, Rabun County Tigers, then Union County, so they're sitting at second place. Elbert County, Banks County, Putnam County, Oglethorpe County, Monticello, and then Social Circle. So the Panthers are definitely within playoff standings, and we hope that they continue to stay there or go up from there. Maybe when they play Rabun County, they can manage to scoot on into that first place spot. I don't know. We'll see. But I do know we will continue to cover the Panthers. James Wolf is our sideline reporter, and he does an awesome job. You can go and check out his full game recaps. They're on our website, fetchernews.com. Click on Union County, click on Team FYN Sports, and then you can find his full game recap articles there as well. So also, before we go any further, I want to mention our player of the week for the Union County Panthers, which is Sloan Sutton. Sloan had a great performance on defense. As Coach Allison said, the defense played great overall last night. Definitely were able to hold the Blue Devils back from scoring anymore, which also allowed the offense to go ahead and extend their lead to that 35-14 final score. So shout out to the defense and shout out specifically to Sloan Sutton for being named this week's Team FYN Sports Writers Player of the Week. Now also a fun fact, I want to mention that Sloan is the son of photographer Jenny Dixon, who sends in many of our Panthers pictures. So thank you to Jenny, and the congratulations to Sloan as well. Now also, before we leave off of the Panthers, I want to mention that tonight at 7 p.m. we will have another episode of Panther Playback, broadcasting live here on Team FYN Sports Facebook page from Circuit World of Blairsville, and shout out to them for letting us host there. We'll have head coach Brian Allison and then several of the players from the Union County Panthers football team. I will be hosting, BKP will be there producing, so definitely tune into this show or follow up afterwards. We will upload it to our YouTube channel for all things Panthers football. So again, congratulations to the Panthers for winning this second region game. And we are going to finish up with our Georgia high school football game recaps. And we're going to move on over into Western North Carolina, where the Murphy Bulldogs had a bye week this week, and the Andrews Wildcats fell into Swain County 48-15. Now the Andrews Wildcats will be playing Cherokee at home on Friday night, so hopefully they'll be able to come out and defend their home turf. Hate to hear that they fell against Swain County, but that is a tough Swain County team, and the fact that they put up 15 points is definitely a display of how the Andrews Wildcats are coming along. Now also, for all things NC Sports, definitely watch our show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. NC Sports Report, Smoky Mountain Conference Report. I host with J.R. Carroll, voice of the Murphy Bulldogs, and Scott Fletcher, voice of the Andrews Wildcats. These guys know their stuff, and they always have a head football coach come in and call in and talk to them. Now, this is a call-in show, so definitely tune into that show so you can learn about how to call in, and you can voice your opinion about Smoky Mountain Conference as well. These guys do an awesome job, so you'll want to tune in to that as well. Now that is going to wrap it up for football for us this week, both in Georgia and in North Carolina, Western North Carolina. Congratulations to our teams that won this week, and for those who did not, we wish you all the best. Well, we wish everyone all the best as they continue region play. Definitely continue to follow us on social media as we supply you with more updates throughout the week, and definitely on Friday night where we'll be posting score updates as well. Now we're going to move on over into softball because we don't want to leave these hardworking ladies out. As I said earlier, softball is officially done with their regular season games, and they're moving on into playoff games. And we have several games here in Team FYN Sports area that are going into state playoffs, and unfortunately we had some that did not make it, but we definitely want to give these ladies, regardless of whether they made it or not into state playoffs, we want to give them a shout out and congratulations on a great season. Starting off with White County, the White County Warriors did not make playoffs for softball, but they finished with an overall winning record of 12-11. So congratulations to these ladies on a great season. In Dawson County, they also did not make playoffs. Unfortunately, the Tigers did not, but they finished with 9 wins over the season and split their region record of 6-6. So congratulations to the Tigers as well on a season well played. Now over in Lumpkin County, these ladies, the Lady Indians, did make state playoffs, so congratulations to them. They did fall to the East Hall Vikings in the region championship on Tuesday. First game by a score of 6-1 and the second game by a score of 16-0. But they played hard, and they've played hard throughout the entire season. Even though they did not finish as region champions, they were still runner-up in Region 7 3A. making them second seed for the playoffs, and they are scheduled to host Westminster in the first round on Wednesday. So good luck to these Lady Indians as they continue their season. I've had a great time going out and covering them. Fortunately, I won't be able to make it this Wednesday because I'll be hosting Rebel Wrap-Up, but we'll do our best to get a sideline reporter out there to cover this game as the Lady Indians continue their season, and we want to wish them all the best. Now in Gilmer, the Gilmer Lady Bobcats did make the state playoffs as well. They are advancing to the first round of state playoffs after a victory over rival Pickens last Monday. They will be traveling to Madison County on Tuesday for the first round of state playoffs, and we want to wish them the best of luck. In Pickens, the Lady Nets unfortunately did not make it to state playoffs. They lost both games in a doubleheader to Gilmer by a score of 4-2 and 16-7. So they are finished for the season. They went 8-15 overall and 4-8 in the region. Still have a lot to be proud of, so congratulations to the Lady Nets on a season well played. Over in Fannin, the Lady Rebels did not make the state playoffs either. They are finished for their season, and they won 3 games over the course of the season, so congratulations to them on a season well played. We wish them all the best of luck as they go into the off season, and then I'm sure undoubtedly they're playing travel ball and even possibly looking ahead to the following season, so good luck to them and congratulations on their season. Now finally, to wrap up our softball updates, over in Union County on Wednesday, they defeated region opponent Rabun County by a score of 8-0, but fell against Banks County 3-2. However, they are still advancing to the first round of state playoffs, and they will be hosting Thorell at home tomorrow. So good luck to these ladies on the Union County softball team as they advance into the first round of state playoffs. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our final break of the show. When we come back, we'll be wrapping it up with volleyball, and we may even have a little bit of time to get into some exciting news. Obviously, all of our pro sports fans know about the great game the Braves played last night to take the lead in the series for the NLDS, and so we'll be talking about that a little bit and getting into a little bit of college football as well if we have time. So, Destiny, go ahead and take us into our third break. We'll be right back. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter.
Special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Instant Replay. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter. Thank you for tuning in with us this morning, or for watching us later if you're watching us on demand on our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetch Your News. And I'll go through our social media just one more time so you all have information on how to reach us and how to follow us for more coaches updates, coaches interviews, score updates, game updates, all sorts of updates. So anyway, if you're on this show now, watching this show live, you're already on our Facebook page. It is Team FYN Sports. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Team FYN Sports. I already mentioned our YouTube channel. And then if you have a favorite athlete or maybe a favorite team you want to give a shout out to, you can shoot us an email there, teamfynsports@Fetch Your News. So definitely go ahead and follow us on all those platforms so you can stay up to date with all things Team FYN Sports. Now, before the break, we were going over our softball recaps and our softball updates for who's advancing to the first round of state playoffs. And we're going to finish up our local high school sports doing the same for volleyball. Now, my understanding is that the top 4 teams in each region go to the GHSA state playoffs, or areas, excuse me. In volleyball, they refer to them as areas. But also, according to the GHSA website, the official area winners do not have to be posted until next Monday, October 14th. So I will read the results from this week's games, but we have one team that I know for certain is advancing to state playoffs because I have it on information from their athletic director, but I don't want to make a mistake and say that somebody is or isn't advancing if they're not. So you can shoot us an email there if you would like, but otherwise stay tuned for more updates on volleyball as far as advancing into the next round or the first round for state playoffs. So starting it off with White County, the Warriors won games against East Jackson and Dawson County during the week. They're scheduled to play Tallulah Falls and Providence Christian Academy this coming week, so good luck to the ladies on the White County volleyball team. Over in Dawson County, the Tigers had a busy week with 2 wins against Lumpkin County, but fell in games to White County, Gilmer, and North Hall. They are scheduled to play Jefferson and Gainesville this coming week, so good luck to the Tigers of the volleyball team. Now, over in Lumpkin County, the Lumpkin County ladies split their record 2-2 with losses to Dawson County and Cherokee Bluff, but won against a second game to Cherokee Bluff and Fannin County. Now, Lumpkin County, I do have it on authority from their athletic director, Mr. Nicky Jenkins, that they qualified for the state tourney on Saturday. They qualified for the state tourney on Saturday. So thank you to Coach Jenkins for sending that information over, and we wish the Lady Indians the best of luck as they continue their season. And stay tuned with us for updates on where they're going and who they're playing against and all that great stuff. Now moving on over into Gilmer, the Bobcats won games against Southeast Whitfield and Dawson County this past week. They fell against Ridgeland, but they're scheduled to play against Lafayette this week, so they'll be looking for a win undoubtedly, and good luck to these ladies. Over in Pickens, they unfortunately lost both matches against Heritage and Lafayette, but they have a match against Adairsville next Tuesday at home at 7 p.m., or it would be this Tuesday, excuse me. So good luck to these ladies as they continue their season. Now, also with Pickens Volleyball, I have a special announcement from RJ Casey that I want to shout out for. And it is the Rally for Michelle Volleyball Tournament benefiting Michelle Pickett, an athlete on the Pickens Volleyball team who is suffering from JDM, and it's juvenile dermatomyositis. That's a mouthful, and I'm not a doctor, so excuse me if I butchered that saying. But it is a disease that affects her muscles, so we're praying and wishing for a recovery for Michelle. But this tournament is played between the Jasper Fire Department and Pickens Sheriff's Office. It'll be on Saturday, October 19th at 5 p.m. at Pickens High School, and tickets are $5. So definitely if you don't have anything else, if you don't have anything else to do, you might as well go, but definitely it is going to be a great event to undoubtedly benefit a hardworking athlete who is going through a tough time right now. And again, Michelle is in our thoughts and prayers on behalf of Team FYN Sports. Now moving on over into Fannin County, the Fannin Rebels played games against East Hall and Lumpkin County, although they fell in the game against Lumpkin County. We do not have any info at this time for future games, so stay tuned with us for updates on that. The same is the case for Union. We know that they split their record 1-1 last week with a loss to Hayesville, but bouncing back to win against Lake Oconee Academy. We do not have any info for future games, but stay tuned with us as we try to get more information on that. Now that is going to wrap it up with volleyball for this week, so definitely we want to wish the best to all of these hardworking ladies over there in our Team FYN Sports coverage area as they continue their season. And to wrap it up with this show, how about them Braves coming back to win a ninth inning rally with a double from Dansby Swanson and then a single from Adam Duvall. They were trailing the Cardinals 1-0 throughout the entire game until the ninth inning. This was game 3 in the series for the NLDS, and the Braves took the series lead 2-1. So game 4 is scheduled for tonight with Atlanta at St. Louis. So definitely looking for a win to clinch this division series here. And it's just an exciting time to be a Braves fan. So anyway, hype there, a lot of hype there for the Braves. It is Chalktober, everyone. And to wrap it up with today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about college football. A lot of great things going on here in Georgia sports. Everyone who even slightly cares about UGA knows that they beat the Vols 43-14, which was no surprise. The surprise is that Tennessee was able to put 14 points on the Dogs, but the Dogs came back to win 43-14. Now, movement in the AP Top 25 that we're going to talk about real quick before we go. The Tide rolled over Clemson last week to secure the number 1 spot, so that's not necessarily news, although we didn't get a chance to really talk about it last week on Instant Replay. Ohio State and UGA, this is new this week. They are tied for the 3rd spot. In the other movement, Florida is up 3 spots to number 7 after taking down Auburn, who went down 5 spots to number 12 in the ranking. Florida here, I hate to say it because, you know, I'm a Dogs fan through and through. My brother's a Florida fan, so I can't really say anything good about the Gators. But I think this is a team that has been a little bit, what's the word that I'm looking for? A little help me out here, Destiny. The word I'm looking for is that they've been a little bit doubted and that people didn't really expect this out of Florida, but they're moving on up. So I'm just saying. But that's going to wrap it up for us here on Instant Replay today. Go Dogs, as always. Go Braves. Looking forward to a region play and all of our football teams. We've got sports shows this week, so definitely tune into those. Looking forward to softball as they go into state playoffs and volleyball as well. So stay tuned here with us at TeamFYNSports on social media for more updates about that. Have a great rest of your Monday, everyone, and have a phenomenal week. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter.